20 things lions love that owners rarely do. Lions wish you knew this. You've probably seen those viral videos where a lion runs across a field and tackles a human in what looks like a giant, joyful hug. It looks like pure love. It looks like the bond of a lifetime. But what most people don't realize is that everything happening in that moment, from the way the human stood to the way they made eye contact, follows a very specific set of rules. Break even one of them, and that same lion could react in a completely different way. Lions are some of the most misunderstood animals on the planet, and the people who care for them in sanctuaries learn quickly that everything you think you know about big cats has to be unlearned. So if you've ever wondered what lions actually want from humans, what truly builds their trust, and what almost every untrained handler gets wrong, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll see lions in a way most people never have. Lions are the only truly social big cats on Earth. They live in prides. They communicate through dozens of subtle signals, and they remember the humans who treat them well for years, sometimes for the rest of their lives. But that social nature is exactly why so many people misread them. They look like overgrown house cats. They roll on their backs. They nuzzle. They make sounds that almost feel like affection. And somewhere in that mix, humans forget that they're standing next to a 400-pound predator with instincts shaped by millions of years of survival. The lions you're about to learn about don't want to be treated like pets. They want something deeper, something most caretakers rarely give them. Let's get into it. 1. The Respect First Greeting Ritual. Here's the first thing that surprises new sanctuary workers. You never walk up to a lion. You let the lion walk up to you. Even rescued lions who've known their caretakers for years still need that moment of choice. When a human rushes in too quickly, even with the best intentions, the lion's body reads it as a challenge, a threat, or at the very least, something rude. The proper greeting is slow, quiet, and almost boring on purpose. You enter the space, you stay relaxed, and you let the lion notice you on its own time. That single act, giving the animal control over the first move, builds more trust than any treat ever could. And what most people don't realize is that this rule never goes away. Even after a decade of bonding, that respectful pause at the gate is still the foundation of everything. 2. Eye communication and calm signals. In the wild, a direct stare from another big cat means one of two things. Either you're about to fight or you're prey. So when a human walks up and locks eyes with a lion, even smiling, even saying sweet things, the lion's brain is reading a completely different message. Experienced handlers use soft eyes, slow blinks, and side glances. They turn their bodies slightly. They keep their shoulders relaxed, and they avoid sudden hand movements. What's fascinating is that lions can read human body language better than most people realize. They notice tension in your jaw, stiffness in your walk, even the way you're breathing. The calmer you appear, the safer they feel. And here's where it gets interesting. A lion who feels safe around a human will often start mirroring that calm energy back, which is one of the earliest signs that real trust is forming. 3. Bonding through scent and familiarity. A lion's nose is wired into its memory in a way humans can barely imagine. Scent isn't just a sense for them. It's identity, it's history, it's safety. When a caretaker wears the same clothes, follows the same routine, and approaches from the same direction every day, the lion learns to associate that exact scent profile with calm, food, and care. This is why sanctuary workers are sometimes told not to switch perfumes, not to wash with strongly scented soaps, and not to bring unfamiliar smells into the enclosure. A new cologne can throw off weeks of bonding. And here's something even wilder. Lions can detect stress hormones in human sweat. If you walk into the space anxious or upset, they know. They don't react to your words. They react to your chemistry. 4. Space, territory, and natural instincts. This is where things get serious. Lions need space. Not yard space, not large kennel space, real space. The kind that lets them patrol, climb, hide, observe, and rest in different zones throughout the day. In the wild, a pride can roam across dozens of square miles. In captivity, that's impossible to replicate, but the closest sanctuaries try by building enriched environments with elevated platforms, tall grass areas, water features, shaded dens, and high vantage points where lions can survey their territory like kings. What surprises most people is how much a lion's mental health depends on having choices. A bored lion isn't just sad. A bored lion becomes a dangerous lion. Pacing, aggression, and depression in captive lions are almost always tied back to one thing: not enough space and not enough decisions to make in a day. 5. Activities that mimic the hunt. A lion that never gets to hunt is a lion missing half of who it is. Even in sanctuaries where live prey is never offered for ethical reasons, caretakers find creative ways to bring out those buried instincts. Scent trails dragged through the grass, frozen meat blocks they have to work to break apart, large enrichment balls they can stalk and ambush, hidden food puzzles that take time to solve. Why does this matter so much? Because hunting in lions is not just about eating. It's about focus, problem-solving, patience, and the satisfaction of a chase. Take that away, and you take away one of the most important parts of their identity. The best sanctuaries treat enrichment like medicine. It's not a treat, it's a necessity. And lions who get it tend to live longer, healthier, and more peaceful lives. 6. Respecting boundaries and safe retreats. Here's something a lot of people get wrong. When a lion walks away from you, it's not rejecting you. In fact, in the lion world, a lion choosing to stay nearby, even quietly, even without interacting, is a massive compliment. It means you're trusted enough to share the space. But the opposite is also true. Lions need places they can retreat to. Private dens, shaded corners, elevated platforms where no one can bother them. Forcing interaction, calling them over, banging on barriers to get attention, all of it damages trust. Lions are not performers. The best caretakers learn to read the difference between a lion who wants company and a lion who wants solitude. And the truth is, lions, like most big cats, value their alone time far more than people expect. 7. Observation as mental stimulation. Lions love to watch. They'll sit for hours staring at birds, watching staff move around the property, observing other animals in nearby enclosures. This isn't laziness, it's mental engagement. In the wild, lions spend huge portions of their day observing their environment, tracking movement, and assessing threats and opportunities. Sanctuaries that build viewing platforms, position enclosures near interesting sightlines, or rotate visual stimuli give their lions a kind of entertainment most people never think about. It's the difference between a lion who lies down with alert ears and curious eyes versus one who lies down because there's literally nothing else to do. The second one is the warning sign caretakers are trained to spot. 8. Scratching, stretching, and claw maintenance. Just like house cats, lions need to scratch. But for a lion, scratching isn't optional. It's how they mark territory, stretch their massive back muscles, and keep their claws healthy. Sanctuary teams provide huge logs, tree trunks, rough bark posts, and sometimes even modified climbing structures designed to take the punishment. What's wild is watching a lion stretch. The full body extension, claws digging into wood, back arched, shoulders rolling. It's one of the most powerful displays of pure animal mechanics you'll ever see. And here's what most people miss. A lion that doesn't have proper scratching surfaces will develop muscle stiffness, overgrown claws, and frustration that comes out in other ways. It's a small detail that makes a huge difference. 9. Feeding that engages the mind. This one changes everything. Most people think feeding a lion means putting meat in a bowl. But experienced sanctuaries know that how a lion eats matters almost as much as what it eats. Hidden meat, hanging carcasses, meals that have to be worked for, varied feeding times, surprise locations. All of this keeps a lion mentally sharp. A lion that has to think about its food stays connected to its instincts. A lion that's just handed meat every day at the same time becomes dull, bored, and sometimes even depressed. And here's something most people don't expect. Lions in the wild don't eat every day. They feast, then fast. So caretakers sometimes mimic that natural rhythm, which actually improves digestion and mirrors how a healthy wild lion would live. 10. Grooming bonds and social touch. In a pride, lions groom each other constantly. They lick each other's faces, rub heads, drape across one another while sleeping. It's how they build social bonds and communicate trust. Now here's where people make a huge mistake. They see this affection between lions and assume it transfers to humans. It doesn't. A lion grooming another lion is one thing. A human trying to recreate that level of contact is another, because no human has the skin, the strength, or the instincts to safely receive it. What good caretakers do instead is provide indirect bonding, calm presence, soft voices, predictable routines, and safe medical care. The bond is real, but it has to live within the boundaries of what humans can actually handle. And smart caretakers never forget that line. 11. Hydration and multiple water sources. In the wild, lions can go days without water if they have to, but they don't prefer it. In captivity, especially in hot climates, water becomes one of the most important things in their world. Sanctuaries provide multiple clean water sources spread across the enclosure, sometimes including shallow pools or water features. Lions can splash in on the hottest days. What surprises new visitors is how playful lions can be with water, given the chance. People assume lions hate water like house cats, but that's not quite true. They don't love to swim, but a shallow pool on a 100-degree day. Many lions will absolutely use it. And providing that option, instead of just one boring water bowl, makes their environment feel alive instead of sterile. 12. Sensitivity to light and sound. Lions are crepuscular, which means they're most active at dawn and dusk. Their eyes are built for low light, which gives them an enormous advantage in the wild, but creates real problems in captivity. Harsh artificial lighting, loud noises, sudden flashes, all of it can disturb their natural rhythms and stress them out. The best sanctuaries dim their lighting, soundproof high-traffic areas, and schedule feeding and enrichment during natural activity windows. What most visitors never realize is that a tour group laughing loudly near an enclosure isn't just annoying to a lion. It can spike its cortisol levels for hours. Lions need calm environments to thrive, and the more peaceful their surroundings, the more relaxed and trusting they become. 13. Reading tails, ears, and posture. A lion's body is constantly talking. The tail flicks when irritated, lashes when angry, hangs low when calm. The ears swivel forward in curiosity, flatten back in warning. The shoulders rise when tension builds. The eyes narrow or widen depending on mood. Experienced caretakers read these signals like a language, and it can save lives. A relaxed lion lying down with loose paws and half-closed eyes is in a completely different state than a lion lying down with tense shoulders and a flicking tail. Both look like rest to an untrained eye. Only one is actually safe to approach. This is why working with lions takes years to learn properly. The signals are subtle, fast, and absolutely unforgiving when missed. 14. Older lion care and comfort. Most people picture lions as roaring kings in their prime, but aging lions need a completely different kind of care. Their joints stiffen, their teeth wear down, their vision and hearing fade. Sanctuaries that care for older lions provide softer bedding, ramps instead of jumps, easier access to water, and softer food when dental issues arise. Arthritis is incredibly common in older captive lions, and managing it requires careful observation. And here's where it gets emotional. Older lions often become more affectionate, calmer, and more dependent on their human caretakers. The bond deepens in the final years. The lion who once paced the fence becomes the lion who waits by the gate, quietly, just to see a familiar face. It's a side of lion behavior most people never see. 15. The power behind the play. Even when a lion is playing, it's still a lion. A swat that looks gentle can break bones. A play bite can leave deep wounds. This is why experienced caretakers never roughhouse with lions, never use hands or feet as toys, and never encourage physical contact that mimics prey behavior. What people see in viral videos, the running hugs, the wrestling, the affectionate tackles, are usually filmed with lions who've been hand-raised since birth, and even then, those interactions carry real risk. The professionals you'll find at reputable sanctuaries almost never engage in that kind of contact. They've seen what happens when a lion forgets, even for a second, that its playmate is fragile. And once you've seen the aftermath, you never forget it. 16. The belly display mistake. When a lion rolls onto its back and exposes its belly, it looks like the ultimate sign of trust. And in some ways, it is. But here's the part most people get wrong. That's not an invitation to touch. In the lion world, an exposed belly means relaxation, not permission. Approaching a lion in that position, especially with a hand, can trigger an instinctive defensive response. Those back legs are the most powerful weapons a lion has, and they can shred through almost anything in a split second. Trained caretakers admire the belly display from a distance. They take it as the compliment it is, a sign that the lion feels safe in your presence, and they leave it at that. The trust is real. The line is also real. 17. Quiet time after meals. A lion that just ate is a lion that wants to be left alone. In the wild, lions eat fast, then retreat to rest, groom, and digest, sometimes for 18 to 20 hours. Disturbing a lion during this period is one of the fastest ways to damage trust. Sanctuary teams know to feed, leave, and let the lion process the meal in peace. What surprises most people is how irritable even the most gentle lion can become around food. It's not personal. It's instinct. Food guarding is hardwired into them, and even decades of human contact can't override it. The best caretakers respect that completely and they teach every new staff member the same rule. After the meal, the lion is off limits. 18. The importance of pride companions. Lions are not meant to live alone. They're the only social big cat, and isolation can devastate them mentally and emotionally. Sanctuaries that house lions in compatible pairs or small groups consistently report better behavior, better health, and longer lifespans. Lone lions, even with the most attentive human caretakers, often develop stress behaviors that pair-housed lions never show. What's heartbreaking is how many rescued lions arrive at sanctuaries having lived in isolation for years, sometimes their entire lives. Watching them meet another lion for the first time, sometimes through a fence at first, is one of the most powerful things sanctuary workers ever witness. It's not just companionship. It's a return to who they were always meant to be. 19. Trust built over years, not days. Here's something that flies in the face of every viral video. Real trust with a lion is not built in a weekend. It's built over years of consistent, calm, respectful interaction. The handlers you see who appear to have deep bonds with their lions have usually spent thousands of hours with that single animal. They know its moods, its triggers, its preferences, its sounds, its history. They've earned every ounce of that relationship. And even then, they never assume safety. They never let down their guard. They never treat the bond as a substitute for caution. The lion can love them, in whatever way a lion loves, and still react on instinct in a split second. The best caretakers in the world hold both truths at the same time, and that's exactly what keeps them and the lion safe. 20. The core philosophy: respect over control. If there's one thing every great lion caretaker will tell you, it's this: love does not mean control. Real care for a lion means giving up the idea that you can tame it, own it, or shape it into something it isn't. Lions thrive when they're given safety, space, choice, and dignity. They thrive when their instincts are respected, when their boundaries are honored, and when humans stop trying to make them into something they aren't. The deepest bonds happen not when a human dominates a lion, but when a human earns the lion's trust by giving it room to be exactly what it is: a predator, a social being, a creature of instinct, intelligence, and ancient power. The more you respect that, the more the lion will let you into its world, and that's a privilege very few humans ever truly experience. So that's the truth about what lions actually want from humans. Not affection in the way we understand it, not control, not constant contact. They want safety, space, calm, choice, and respect. They want their instincts honored and their dignity protected. They want humans who understand that a bond with a lion isn't built through hugs, it's built through patience. The next time you see a viral video of someone wrestling a lion or treating it like a giant cat, remember everything you just learned. The real magic of lions isn't in making them act like pets. It's in seeing them for what they actually are and choosing to love them anyway. So tell me, after hearing all of this, would you ever want to live and work with lions? Could you handle a bond that demands this much respect? And which of these 20 surprised you the most? Drop your answer in the comments. We read every single one,